Washing away leftover grease after you've been cooking in the kitchen, it seems pretty harmless, but it can actually cause a big headache, not only for you, the homeowner, but also the city. Fats, oils, and grease, you should be disposing them a certain way, and today we're learning more about that. Well, Tony Hernandez is here with me, and we're talking about something that I have to say, most of us homeowners have probably done. Maybe some of us are more mindful than others, but you're in the kitchen, you're cooking, you've got your pan, it's got a little leftover grease in it from your dinner, and you pour it down the drain. Not the best thing when it comes to the pipes, the drains, not only just for the homeowner, but the city in general. It really can contribute to a big problem.
Yes, it can. Fats, oils, and grease, also we call it F.O.G for short. You pour it down the drain, it doesn't just disappear. It kind of lingers, it stays behind. A lot of times what happens, the F.O.G will go down the sewer system in our sewer pipes. It'll kind of adhere to the pipes. It'll solidify and harden. And then over time, we get more and more F.O.G down the drain, and eventually we end up with a blocked sewer. And that blocked sewer pipe will back up wastewater. It can back up into people's homes, into businesses, into our streets. That eventually, it's not good. It causes a public health hazard. It's very expensive to clean up, and it can cause a lot of property damage to people's homes and businesses. And then if we do get F.O.G that does make it through the sewer and ends up in our wastewater treatment plant, that also causes issues for us. It causes excess wear and tear on our treatment plant facilities or on our equipment, and it becomes harder to treat the wastewater that we use as reclaimed water.
I think a lot of times you don't think of that long-term effect that one decision over time has. Something though you mentioned off camera, we're gonna talk about it right now, because a lot of us are like, okay, well, I cook the bacon and I put the grease into a can and I store it, or I dispose of it in a trash can. Milk. So often, spoiled milk, or, oh, we can't drink it now, we pour it down the drain. That's actually a really big culprit to this problem.
Yes, it is. And a lot of people don't think of it as, they say, oh, there's no oil, there's no grease, it's just milk. Well, it has a lot of fats in it. And so when you pour it down the drain, that contributes to the fats, oils, and grease, the F.O.G. And that's part of the problem. So the best way to mitigate that, close it tight. You could put it in a freezer if it's spoiled, freeze it, and then on garbage day when trash pickup comes, you can toss it out there, and it's solid, it won't leak everywhere, and you won't have a mess outside.
So, with greases and oils, would you say the same sort of disposal mechanism, put it into a can, dispose of it in a trash bin versus down the drain?
Yes, that's correct. If you have excess oil, can, or any type of heat, something that could withstand hot oil, you could either freeze it or just wait for it to solidify, throw it on trash day. Another good tip, pots and pans and dishes, instead of just taking them from the table to the sink, get a paper towel or some napkins, try to wipe them clean, get all that excess grease and oil off there, throw it in the trash, and then wash them. And then another thing, a lot of homes, they have just garbage disposals in the sink. A lot of people will just dump food down there and just let it chop up and then go into the sewer. And that also contributes to a lot of blockages. Best way to do that, kind of put a strainer in there. You can get it at a hardware store. Let it catch all the food, the excess food and chunky stuff, and just dump it in the trash. That way it doesn't go down the drain.
One thing I want you to point out too, obviously we have a lot of restaurants. We love our restaurant here in the city of Peoria, and you offer some great education programs for them because they obviously have a much higher content of this sort of waste because they're cooking every day for their customers. What do you offer for them?
So the city of Peoria, we have a F.O.G program. So as an environmental compliance inspector, that's my title with the city, I'm part of that program. So our city code and regulations, they put guidelines in place that any type of food service establishment or restaurant that sells food, the guidelines require that they install a grease trap or an interceptor for the restaurant. Now what the trap or interceptor does, it catches all the fats, oils, and grease before it gets to the sewer. And our goal as inspectors, we'll go out and occasionally we'll inspect them and make sure that they're maintaining them. The city requires that at minimum every 90 days, interceptors get pumped out, or traps, they get pumped out, and they need to be maintained by the owner or the person who's operating the food service establishment. We'll go out, we'll make sure that they're maintaining them. We try to take more of an educational approach, a more business-friendly approach. We want businesses to thrive in the city. So we try to bring education to them and explain to them about maintaining their grease interceptor or their trap and what the fog does to the city's sewer system. So we'll go out and hand pamphlets out, give them things to hang up in their kitchen to make sure that they're disposing of their grease properly.
Tony, thank you. Really good information, things that I think a lot of us didn't know and I think will very helpful to know now.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
As always, thanks for watching and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you.